Okay, so you think you're doing everything right for your retirement. You're investing every year in a diverse portfolio for your IRA, but you could still lose $1 million before you retire. And it all boils down to the fees sucking away at your retirement savings and growth. Mitch Tuchman is the founder and CEO of MarketRiders, and he's here to walk us through some math he has done about how much you're paying in fees. Mitch, welcome to the program. I want to start first with this portfolio you put together. This is for a person who's 35 years old, $4,000 a year annual contributions. Right. You're assuming a 7.5% annual return. Right. By the age 76, wow, if you have walk me through what you see here. If you have a mutual fund portfolio, you've got a little bit more than $2 million.
Right.
An ETF portfolio, you would have had $3 million. So returns lost to fees, more than $1 million. Why, how? Why is this happening?
So what people don't understand is that when you buy a mutual fund portfolio, and by the way, the portfolio that we used is all Morningstar, 4-star rated mutual funds. The average fees on this portfolio is about 1.39%. And there's all kinds of hidden fees, but that's all loaded up. And when you look at these fees and you compound the amount of these fees over a long period of time, they literally create such a handicap on your portfolio that you lose a tremendous amount of money. And people don't really understand this. They think, oh, what's the big deal, 1% on a mutual fund? Well, when the markets are returning, and in our example, 7.5% with bonds and stocks, that little 1.39% is a very big part of 7.5%, and that's just what happens.
You ran it again also with a mutual fund portfolio and an advisor, and found that what you say the losses are even worse. You got by the age of 76, age 35, you start investing $4,000 a year into your IRA, a 7.5% return. In the end, if you use mutual fund portfolio and an advisor, $1.4 million. The ETF portfolio, of course, would have been $3.1 million, and the returns lost to fees $1.7 million. I should say what an ETF is, by the way. Exchange traded funds. These are things that typically have much lower fees because you're just tracking something in the market. It's not actively managed, right?
Right, exactly. So the difference in fees on an ETF, ETFs tend to be 20 basis points. Now, the caveat there, Christine, is that ETFs are now being bastardized by Wall Street, but I'm talking about the Vanguard, the iShares ETFs. I mean, you don't really want an ETF if it's going to be, on average, in a whole portfolio, more than 20 basis points. So, yeah, they're about 1/7 of the cost of a mutual fund portfolio. But as you were saying, if you throw an advisor into the mix, then the fee goes from 1.39% to 2%, 2.39%. And that puts a further drag on the compounding of the portfolio, and it's just devastating. And
let's bring in Ali, because I know, Ali, you've looked and studied this before about fees, and sometimes you think it's a little overrated, right?
Right, I'll tell you a couple of things. I generally agree with what Mitch is saying. I generally think ETFs are a fantastic tool for more people, but ETFs are a general thing. They're becoming much more specific. There are many that are highly specific, but at some point, Mitch, first of all, not everybody is going to pay 1.9% for an advisor, but let's just take that at face value. The reality is there are some mutual funds and some mutual fund advisors who are real people who have to travel around the world and really know whether this Czech pharmaceutical is better than that one, or this Chinese banana farm is better than that one. And if they are going to make me more money than a computer-generated, exchange-traded fund is going to make me, why do I care if I'm paying for that privilege? If I'm paying for fees and an advisor, but I'm actually beating the market every year, that's nothing wrong with that.
No, you're right. But, Ali, the operative phrase you just said, beating the market every year. And most people I know have a time horizon on retirement of, they're looking out. Even myself as a baby boomer, I'm looking out, 10 or 15 years, but most people, you're 35, you're looking out 40 years, 30, 40 years. So what's true, Ali, is that all the studies show a mutual fund guy you described looking at a banana farm, wherever, he might do it 1 year, he might do it 2 years, but after 5 or 10 years, the number of people who can keep beating the market continually is less than 10%.
I think a cool takeaway for everyone here on this too is that you probably don't know what you're paying in fees. It might be a real good time to go check right now.
Yes, absolutely.
If that's the benefit that comes out of this, we'll be ahead. If everybody can just check what they're paying and at least make an informed decision about it.
That's absolutely right. All right, Mitch Tuchman, MarketRiders, thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Christine. Thanks, Ali. Appreciate it.
All right, Mitch. All right, after all this talk about retirement.